dating and advice for entrepreneurs. It's going to be very serious, and I'm going to drop some tips from someone who's been there. Hopefully, this can help people out. Now, right now, in the news, there is this stuff, and there's a lot of memes about Tyrese Gibson losing it. And a lot of people think it's funny, and a lot of people think it is high humor. And I'm telling you, dude pretty much snapped, and he's mentally unhealthy. And this doesn't mean that he's done what they said he did with his daughter. I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't think he did it. I'll just say that. And what will happen in a custody battle is you will become mentally unhealthy because of the things that are done. Now, I want to give out the situation as I know it. He hasn't seen his daughter in 2 months. I want you to think about that. Now, part of his problem is he's an actor and he goes away for 2, 3, 4 months. See, that's one of the things that's going to really hurt him in child support court, family court, because he has such a unusual occupation. He's prone to be gone a lot. That's going to be a big barrier for him. Chris Brown is someone else who got custody of his daughter, but Chris Brown has more control over his schedule. I mean, he could tour like 4 or 5 times a year, whatever he needs to do. But that's one thing. 2, Tyrese has this certain persona. It shouldn't go into the courtroom, but it does. So that counts against him. Now, I got some notes here because we're going to talk about the psychology of dealing with bad mothers. We'll just call them that. All right. I want you to think about the lives of most people. They don't get to rule over anything. They don't get to have domain over anything. They don't get to have control. They work jobs and they have stuff that is put upon them. They have a situation where they have to toe the line. So having a kid for many people is literally a power trip. And when you're dealing with an emotional, hormone-ridden woman that just had a baby and her body's washed in all these hormones, and then she's not wrapped too tight to begin with, that is really not a good recipe. Because unless you're married, the child is hers. I know it took 2 people to make a baby. I know the sentiments. I agree. But legally, if you're not married, that kid is hers. And that's something that's really, really hard for a lot of men to wrap their head around. Now, Tyrese was married and that was his wife. Look at what he's going through. But if you're a single dude and you're in this situation, you really need to have some type of paternal contract in writing, because once again, the kid is hers to do whatever she wishes to. Now, one of the problems with that is you don't have any rights as a man, but you have responsibility. Tyrese put out he's paying $13,000 a month for one kid. That is what? 156,000 a year. Plus, I'm quite sure there's other expenses. So he's paying this money. He can't see the kid. And when he does get to see the kid, he's going to have to see the kid under supervision for an hour or 2. Now, really think about that. Now, let's talk about the abuse allegations. I don't know if they're true. I feel that they're not. And this is one of the things that many dysfunctional, evil, and downright just full of duplicity women do. They accuse you of being an abuser, and it can be heinous because, once again, their bodies are washed with all these hormones. Their goal is to maintain control of that child. They don't want to share the control. They don't want to share the decision making. This is my baby, came out of my body. It is up to me, and I'm making these decisions. If you don't like it, tough. That is how a lot of women think. It's not right, but that's how they think. And part of navigating your way through this system is to take it from the way that it is. Just take it. Just understand what it is, not how you want it to be. Number one, it won't be fair. I'll share my story with you. I got attacked. Call the police. 911 tapes, police report that went against her. Slid it under the nose of this judge. She didn't even wink at it because she accused me of abuse and said she had statements from other people. So I had a physical police report right there. She could have been arrested. And that judge listened to her and took her side over mine. Now, when it happened, I wanted to explode. But see, this is where this process will make you mentally unhealthy, because what happens is you go in there and you get accused of abuse or something, you will be treated as if you're guilty. Doesn't matter if you're not guilty. Does not matter. You'll be treated and you will be labeled as such. And what happens is it creates this dynamic where any person who's accused of doing something heinous like that is going to like, I didn't do it. But what's going to happen is you're going to protest too much and you're going to come off looking like a person that could do that. So this is what I mean about the court system will make you dysfunctional and unhealthy, because you'll be attacked, you'll be accused of stuff, and your natural response is to scream, it ain't me, this is, but once again, it's changing. It's definitely changing. There's a lot of fathers getting their kids, but it does not happen across the board. And once again, my situation, I'm 6'2", well, 6'1", almost 6'2". She's like 5'2" and small. So us standing next to each other again, it looks like abuse because I'm so much bigger than her. And that's the thing. There's perception and there's reality. She abused me. She actually hurt me while I was holding the baby and fighting her off with one arm. And then she said these magic words. He choked me. In the state of Georgia, one of the worst things that you can do is choke a woman, especially out here in some of these rural parts. If she says he choked me, once again, there has to be no evidence whatsoever. She just said it. She's scared. She feared for her life. They're going to take her word over yours. You're going to get arrested. You're going to be put in handcuffs and you're going to be labeled an abuser, whether it's true or not. And one of the things that I did, and I'm very proud of myself, is when the judge did what she did, I was very cool and very calm, because I believe that at some point in the future, I'm going to get full custody. And this is the part about why you got to stay mentally healthy. Like Tyrese breaking down like that, it's on social media. The damage is done. Judge is going to see that. And more than likely, unless she, the wife or ex-wife, softens up, this is going to continue. He's going to continue to pay $13,000 a month child support for a kid he can't see. And then they'll bring in the guardian ad litem, and then he'll get supervised visits. And after maybe a year of that, then maybe he can get weekend unsupervised visits. All while he's paying that $13,000 a month. Do you understand what that does to a person? That can make you mentally unhealthy. That can make you rebel. That can make you just act out in court. All of the stuff that you should not do, you are compelled and forced because so many things are going against you. Because like I said, Tyrese is mentally unhealthy. And like I said, I don't think this has anything with him abusing his daughter. I just don't get the feeling he's that kind of guy. But with this stuff being done, he's being a public figure. He's got all this pressure on him. Lots and lots of pressure. So he had a moment where he snapped. And it's probably not going to reflect good on him. And what he did was human. It was just an emotional response because he loves his daughter and he can't see her. And the more that he acts out, because if Tyrese was my friend, I would say, you need to get off social media. You don't need to do social media for a year. You don't need to read social media posts. You need to completely ignore social media for a year, hang out with your friends in person, and get your mental health back. Because in my situation, I felt myself slipping into that mentally unhealthy thing because it was so outrageous. I filed legitimization papers, not once, not two, but 3 times. And then I realized in the 3rd year that I was like, okay, it's over. The minute she left the state, it was a wrap. The state of Georgia allowed her to leave, and I proved that she lied. And it was like, well, she wasn't sworn in, so it wasn't perjury. And when you hear that, you're like, that's crazy. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot where I was doing all that stuff, they would have listened to her and they would have taken action. So understand that when you're going through a custody battle, some of the things you need to do: self-care. You need to have 1, 2, 3 friends you can call at any time. Now, fortunately, I had those friends. I had like 5 that I can call and be on the phone 2, 3 hours, talk and go visit. So I got to work through this, and I didn't work through it by myself because men have committed suicide over this stuff. And what men typically do is crawl into a mental cave and have all that pressure and all that stress in their heart, and it just kills them. And they're not even any good to the kid because they are just mentally blown. So what I did was I made a decision. I told all my friends, look, I'm letting this go. If it was meant to be, she will show up in my life. I am not going to pursue this anymore. It's been 3 years. She will not talk. She got her served twice. And then the judge was like, it's dubious service. Got her served at her address in front of the house. This is just some of the stuff that I would say old school judges do that make it extremely difficult for you as a man to see your kid, to be a father. Because one of the things that I was very fortunate in was I got the child support case dismissed against me. Not hidden, not me hiding under a rock, but dismissed. And I'm going to tell you why I did that. This is a poverty issue. Let's say you're a regular dude. You have a regular job and your wife leaves you or your girlfriend pulls this on you. So you got to get an attorney. Decent attorney is going to be $5,000 to $10,000. Then you don't have that. So you go to court, and then she's got the state sponsored attorney, which acts like personal counsel for her. And then you get caught up in this system. Then you start paying child support, but you can't see your kid. Then you get mad. Then you don't pay child support. Next thing you know, you're in arrears. You get locked up. Then you lose your car. You lose your apartment. You've been in jail. And you were already depressed. You were already having issues. Now you have all of these other issues that impacts every fiber of your life. And you are just in a world of hurt. So one of the reasons that I fought it so hard was I had a feeling in my heart that I wasn't going to get to see her. And I was like, I'm not going to be paying emotional ransom. That's what I call it, emotional ransom, because what she did to me was emotional rape. And essentially, because I did not want her romantically, she was like, you ain't having this kid. No. I mean, she did nasty stuff. Like I sent toys and stuff. She sent them back to Amazon. I got proof of this. This is why I feel that in the future, because I know you're watching this and I know about the phone call you made. And I know that you track my social media. Yeah, I'm speaking to her because she's watching this right now. She'll come across it later and she's mad because I did not wither and disappear. I've thrived. You know, I got a lovely home. I have nice rides. I got 2 offices, and I'm going to continue to thrive. I'm going to continue to grow while you continue to catch it, because I know you're catching it. And I don't check out your social media stuff. I don't care about that. But I know in my heart and hearts, because see, I don't believe in karma, but I do believe in stupid people. And you're stupid. You're stupid, and stupid people continue to make stupid decisions. And instead of getting on the phone like a grown woman, you're going to sneak around, call my exes, reach out to my friends because you're trying to get me served, instead of like, look, what I did was wrong. Let's work this. No, no, no. That ain't going to happen because I know you. You are just a glorified hood rat that pretends you're educated. And what you're going to do is create a situation where I'm going to get full custody. And I'm just like waiting, because the fact that you're making these phone calls and stuff means that you don't want to do the right thing because you're incapable of doing the right thing. And what's going to happen to you is going to be ugly. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be ugly. You're probably going to act a fool in the courtroom and get a contempt of court charge because you can't control yourself. Just saying. So, like I said, I know you watch this and I know your moves, because she's doing stuff right now and it's funny. And it's sad because instead of being an adult and a grown person, she's trying to go on all these back channels because she does not want me to be a part of Madison's life, but she wants that money. And that is sad. All right. So custody battles can make you mentally unhealthy. As a man, you're guilty and will be treated as such. This is gospel. Believe that. Custody battles bring out the worst in people. And this is partially the court's fault because there must be a deal breaker or a referee or something like that. So once again, going back into, most people never have dominion over nothing. They never have anything that's special. They never get to be a leader. So being a mother or a father is their crack. Some people warm to the position very well. They're kind, they're loving, they raise beautiful people. And some folks become drunk on power, which is the situation with my case, because she once said, you know, it's my decision if she stays with you during the day or not. And I want you to think about that. Unpack that. It's my decision. And I was like, and at the time she didn't have a car. And I said, okay, so how you going to get her around since it's your decision? When you going to get a car, in fact? Silence, right? So I was like, look, this is what's going to happen. She's going to stay with me during the day. I'll take you to work. We'll work this thing out. And she said, okay, because she got gassed up by their evil mother, who never really had anything. And you know something that's funny about this? And I found this out from the grandmother, that she was a product of an adulterous affair, and her father was not in her life until she was 33. So with that information, I saw why she was the way that she was, because they were just like, oh, you need help and you need all this other stuff. I'm a real calm, chill person. And fortunately, I'm also aware of the situation because I didn't do anything that could get me in trouble. And I never threatened her, even though she threatened me. Her convict uncle threatened my life. But, you know, that's okay. So let's see. That covers a lot of this stuff, because what you got to do, if you are in this situation, if you're not in this situation, consider yourself very fortunate. Consider yourself blessed. Consider yourself, if you got some woman that's pregnant, that's like, look, you come take the little baby and y'all work that out outside the courts and she's chill, be very grateful for her, because a lot of them are not that chill. A lot of them are just crazy. So be really, really grateful. Do your best to work out a deal with her. You know, do what you say you're going to do. Be there for your kids, and just consider that a blessing. Because when you deal with one of these foul chicks, like going back to Tyrese, this has been going on for 3 years. I want you to think about that. The mental toll of having a situation where you can't see your kid and you got to shell out all this money. Plus you got to sell out all this money to attorneys. And this is something else too. Why, if you can work it out between both of you, attorneys purposely keep stuff going to get paid. It does not take 3 years, 4 years to decide custody. If people are broke and they go in and they neither one have an attorney, that stuff happened in 3 months. 3 months. But if there's money involved, well, we need to look at this and we need to look at this and we need, no, you don't. And that's one of the things that he's going through because he has money. He is being hounded and he's being sucked dry because you are supposed to put out so much money for your kids. You're supposed to do all this other stuff. But I see a lot of the stuff that is in social media that's sad because instead of laughing at this guy, you should have some compassion because I can tell you, because, you know, he's just talking. What he is sharing on social media is like 10% of it. There's so much more. I mean, there's so much more I could tell you. Like, she actually, I will tell you, Madison, I was holding Madison like this, and I was sitting on a love seat. And I wanted to leave because she was getting very ghetto. And I was like, I'm not going to fight with you. I'm going to go home. And I tried to get up, and she cocked back this Izzy glass bottle, and her eyes flashed. She blacked out. And I had a demon. So I'm holding the baby like this, and I'm tussling with her with this other arm. And she was so shocked that I called the police that when the police showed up, she told the truth. He wanted to leave, and I tried to keep him from leaving. That's kidnapping. And they asked me, it's like, Mr. Cameron, what do you want? I don't want her arrested. I want her to leave me alone. But looking back, I should have arrested. And don't put any of this, you know, you're a man, you shouldn't. No, she's not the mother of my child. She's the mother of her child. And if I had her arrested, I would have had my daughter. And I regret that because I feel that my daughter is going to go through some bad times because of it. But it is what it is. And when you deal with these kind of people, you got to be very aware. And also for the ladies, if I see any of these comments like, well, he should have known, or there was evidence that this, no. It always seems to come back on the man. Well, he should have picked better. Not that she shouldn't have been crazy. Because a lot of you women do not want to assign responsibility for bad behavior to other women. It's always the other dude. I was trying to go home and she attacked me. Well, you know, yeah, she's crazy. You should have known. No, she shouldn't have did that. And fortunately, we're getting into a society where women are catching those L's for bad behavior. Finally, women are going to jail. Women are going to jail for contempt of court, all kinds of stuff. So and I'm just going to let you know, because I'm not dealing with it. I'm not even going to talk with you. I'm just going to delete your comments. You start putting that crap on here. All right, so let's go into the comments. Because like I said, I saw it and, you know, I wasn't going to do this, but I just felt compelled because I know what he's going through. I know what he's going through, and it ain't nothing pretty. Let's see. All right. So let's see. What's up, James? What's up, Erica? What's up, Tone Lee? What's up, Farrell? What's up, Chittown? What's up, Edward? What's up, Ganji? VTU Corp. Archangel, what's up? Let's see. It is. Logic reigns supreme. Men protect your assets. Ganji, my uncle lives in Cali. It took him 10 years to prove to the court that his son's mom was mentally unstable, and the part is she got up and left the house when the kid was barely 3. They have, and I should say things have changed, but there is this reluctance to assign blame to the mother. And fortunately, it's changing, but it didn't change for my situation. But Ganji 88, that's real. This is why I'm having kids outside the country. T King, you funny. What's up, Christian? Ganji, these toxic women are all about them. They don't realize they destroy the next generation, sterilize them. Man, you know. Josh Hill, Tyrese exploded before all eyes. That did not help his case. No, it did not. No, it made things much worse. And that's why he should come off of social media. That's why he should hang out with his friends whenever he needs, get someone to say, look, man, whenever I'm feeling away, I can call you, because that just made things much, much worse. What's up, the Wild Jones report? Donovan. Nah, he's not going to listen to me. It's not too late, but he's got to change his behavior. Like, one, get off of social media. You got to let that go. Raw News Frontline. Listen, if he goes to court as his entity, well, I think he's smart enough to have some attorneys. They may be able to provide cover. Dungy, you might be right, but it would be a good promo for Glendon. He's not going to do it. I have a friend, Archangel 357. I had a friend try to commit suicide. He was a deputy sheriff. It's tough. All he kept saying was he wanted to see his son. I'm telling you, this is why this is something that's really ugly too. Like, let's say Tyrese goes out and get a therapist. If they find out, he will not see his daughter. It is a really sticky situation because if he goes out, he gets a therapist, and then they petition the therapist. That's why I say, he should hang out with his friends. He should talk to people. He should not drink. He should not do drugs and get his head clean. He should meditate, because you go see a therapist, that goes against you. I know it sounds funny, but it does. Ganji, to women that are listening to the stream, that's why Glendon made this channel for men. There are no social programs for men. I have grown up and personally watched Preference for Girls over boys. You're funny. Josh Hill, that 13,000 though, I must say, sounds like a rich person problem when you look at how he's living. All right. So it's $156,000 a year plus child support, and there are attorney fees. He could be paying 300 G's a year for this. I don't care who you are. 300 G's a year, that's rough. That's real rough. Tone Lee, I agree. It is extortion. What's up, Milo Daya? Oh, dude, she watches this stuff. Like, I'll tell you a situation. When we were dealing, there was a situation where we were in a relationship, and then her mother got involved. I already talked about that. So I kept having sex with her, but I was having sex with other women, and she knew it. So when she got pregnant, she went up and said, like, we're in a relationship, and he just left me high and dry. So the family looking at me like I'm Darth Vader. When I had to keep telling these people, like, we're not in a relationship. I got emails saying, we're not in a relationship. Why do you keep saying that stuff? This is why one of my friends who's a doctor said, you sure there's no mental illness in the family? Because I showed them the emails. I'm like, we're not in a relationship, right? Well, one day when I was over there taking care of Madison, she went through my phone and she got some numbers. And I was dating 4 women at the same time. And then when all this stuff happened, I was just like, I need to just cram it down to one. So I chose the best one, who I'm still with. And she called her the other day. Yep. And I knew it was coming. She called. It's been 4 years. She called her the other day talking about, he's out there in California having sex with other women. I'm telling you, and it was so funny. Like, when I was at Vid Summit, I was meeting so many people. It was so busy. I was exhausted every night. It was fun. I couldn't have sex if I wanted to. That was so funny. And my girl just hung up on her. She's like, don't call me again. And that is the second phone call that she's placed to her. So it's crazy. To that woman that did Glenn dirty, you are a nasty. She's this range, really. Spacey Donkey. Emotions you use to punk the otherwise unpunkable. Family does this all the time. That's a good observation, because you go into court, and this is what a good attorney will tell you. Like, don't read stuff. Don't look at stuff. When you get certain letters from other attorneys, hand it to me. Do not open and read it, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that's just going to make you light you up like you're just going to be upset. Really, really upset. What's up, Dank Souls? Hey, Josie, 25 points. Such a risk to have kids these days. Really, it's not. I'll just say this. There are There are probably like several women that I was having sex with that I could have gotten pregnant. And if I said this, I'm like, look, all right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to keep the baby during the day, some nights and stuff. You keep them at nights. And they've been like, okay, cool. There's so many. I just got the wrong one pregnant. Having kids is not wrong. It's not a risk. It's the person. And she had issues, still has issues. The fact that she's calling up my girl 4 years later, trying to stir the pot. Let's see. Makes me think twice about having kids. Raw News Frontiers, feeding the masses. Then they will hear him in his testimony, because he will not be the Bart. He will sound human in your agent, so they have to type what you say. Okay, I think I understand that. These custody laws were made when women had less right. Custody laws have changed quite a bit. There are a lot of women who are going to jail for this type of stuff. It depends on the state. It depends on the judge. If the judge, if the judge is younger, she's got kids. So they are changing, but it is harsh. Hey, Josie, I know it seems like marriage and kids is such a disadvantage to men, but such an advantage for women. Well, traditional marriage to a non-traditional woman is. Traditional marriage to a woman who is traditional is not. There are quite a few women who are still traditional, who, I'll be even real, you can mess around on them, but if you are paying that mortgage, making sure those bills don't embarrass her, she ain't gonna really care if you will go out and get some strange. There's a lot of traditional women out there like that. What it is these women who feel that they should be your everything and who are a little deranged. Agent J. Poole, the standard is unnaturally high for men while women are perceived to be right in court. Glendon is right. Men had to walk in with dirt on them or lose bad. I mean, pretty much. It was really eye-opening, but once again, and I'll just tell you, this is how Hustlers Kung Fu came to be. Since when I started that, I was going through that process. And so instead of sitting at home and unpacking and re-examining the same old, I created all these courses. That was my therapy. That's why the child support course is there. That's why I'm still doing this stuff, because I can talk about this stuff and not be crazy or my blood pressure. I mean, my blood pressure was crazy high. So I had to step back for health concerns, because I mean, it will take you out. It really will. And that's why it's like, well, I know what Tyrese is going through. And for him, it was probably 20, 30, 40 times worse, because he's a celebrity and he's opening himself up where everyone has an opinion about it. I'm not going to break him down. I'll just state what I've seen, because he's clearly broken. And you got to think about that. He's broken. And if his ex-wife, is an evil person, she is going to get in that machine and run him over. But I don't know her, so I can't say. Ganji, there has to be a way to detect these crazy women beforehand. I really talked about that. Essentially, I've had 2 slip-ups in my life, and they both came in my life when I was going through some stuff. So long as I'm mentally healthy, I'm in my right mind, this type of, they don't even get in. But when I'm off my game, and it happened. And I mean, the big thing that it gets me, and that's very disappointing, is I have a child out there who's going to probably be abused before I get her. And that's the thing that's just really sucks, because I know these folks, and let's talk about them, since I know you're still watching. Convicted felon uncle, grifters uncles like this. I remember one time we was sitting there, her uncle called her and asked to borrow $20. And this dude was 40, 50 years old. Trifling. And once again, she lives at home, her mother lives at home, and the grandparents, if they're still alive. So there's 3 generations of one family under the same roof. So who knows what's happening up there. Ben Theodore, beat my child support case after buying Hustlers Kung Fu a while back. You're preaching male gospel, my brother. There's a lot of ways you can get out of it, because essentially the social standard is that you as a man, you must pay child support or you're a deadbeat. There is no, well, no, it's just the standard is you must provide money. That's it. And part of it is you got to wrap it around your head that no, you don't have to provide money, because if you have equal access to the child, you can take care of the child when she or he's with you. That's your child support. And it's actually harder, let's say you split it down the middle. You keep the kid 3 days 1 week. She keeps the kid 3 days 1 week. You keep them 4. I mean, that's more expensive. It's better for the kid. It's better for the parent. It's better for the mother. But no, they're like, oh, no. And we're going to talk about once that kid gets 14, 15, 16, you notice how they change. And the reason that the mother's attitude toward those children changes, they're no longer useful. Because you're 15, 16, that's only 2 more years of child support. Have you ever noticed how a lot of women will reset? They'll have a 16, 18-year-old and they'll have a 2-year-old. Start that clock again, because 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, whatever. That's nice money coming in. I don't care. Like, well, they don't do nothing. That's just a little something. We buy a McDonald's. No, you like that money. You like it. That's why you did it again. Love it. Love to keep fit. MGTOW forever. Agent J Poole, is cheaper to keep her sometimes. Well, see, that's the thing. We weren't in a relationship. I lived in a separate location. She lived in a separate location. So I didn't even have her, but she really wanted me. Donovan, you're funny. Ganja, some of these toxic women should go on the do not date list. Well, there's some dudes who like that crazy sex. Logic reigns supreme. Protect assets or be broke dick Danny. For real. It is messed up, man. Let's see. Hold on. We jumped. Let's see. Official, because I know what can be done in Toronto. Official Fabio Hart. It might be much better than America does a bro bad in court. Like, it depends on the state and it depends upon the court system. There's some places brothers are winning every day. Christian Amerson, if you don't have your priorities right straight, having kids is a nightmare. True. Joshua, that's the thing. Too many folks having them with the wrong ones. Make sure they aren't signs before the baby. Let's go ahead and look at my situation. She had fibroids. She couldn't get pregnant. So it wasn't even hanging with the wrong one. It's just I slipped and it came. So we weren't together. It's just one of those things that happens. Roger McMorrin, in the world of trying to achieve equality, perceptions like you versus the court system will still override the sounds like people showing their true intentions then. Well, this is where we're heading. We're heading to a gender equal situation. And guess who doesn't like it? Women. We're getting there. All right. Back in the day, I used to make women pay for dates. I used to bring it up, and my law was like, well, no, you shouldn't do that, man. I mean, you shouldn't pay. And I'm like, dude, this chick makes $280,000 a year. I asked her out, sure, I'll pay, but she need to come on some bread. And now it's coming. But I was like way ahead of my time. But now it's coming. It's like dudes would like ask the chick out and be like, oh, it's Dutch. Women hate that. And the thing is, you can't have the special rights of being a woman and equal rights. You can't. And that's what's happening. We're moving away from it. And that's why a lot of women are just like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to be a traditional woman. I'm going to find me a dude, take care of me. I'm going to do whatever he wants me to do. A lot of women are like that. Official. Not really. All right. I want you to think about, let's say, white women. I have a friend who's white, and Heather had 3 kids by then, Mark. And Mark was living in a boarding house with 4 other roommates because he had to pay the mortgage, he had to pay child support, and he had to pay alimony. So I don't know about that. And Heather would he go pick up the kids, and Heather would be gone. This went on for 4 or 5 years. Gucci Mane mixtapes. Well, that's true. Pharaoh Phoenix. How can a man who's married and has a child protect himself if he wants to leave and wants to leave peacefully without the drama? I'm a good father, but I'm done with the mother. Help me out. First thing you need to do, you're married, right? So what you need to do is, if you got any credit cards together, you need to pay them off and get them out your name, because what she will do if she gets mad is try to wound you any way she can. Also, if you got cars, anything you got joint, you need to get that done. Second, you also need to talk to her and say, because the thing is, what state are you in? Because that would be really helpful. Because it depends on what state you're in. If you're like in Florida, you can leave now and you're pretty much going to get 50-50. So let's go from there. Pretty much love to keep fit. What's up, Zola? Love to keep fit. Yes, because essentially, all right, in my course, Fat Cat Secrets, attorney can do a parenting plan for you like that. But they're not going to make the 50, 60, 70, 80,000 that they will by just drawing this out. If you go to court and look at poor people, sometimes they get that stuff done in 2 meetings. When there's more money on the table, it's like all of this stuff comes out, and really it's just hurt feelings. And it's like, well, since he used my body to have this kid, he needs to pay me. That's really what it is. Randy, I think California, well, I don't know, because Chris Brown pays $2,500 a month, and he's got 50% of I think her name is royalty. He's got her 50% of the time. And he's in California. So I don't know about that. And he's got that history of abusing Rihanna. And I was like, that's changed. So I think it's really about what judge you get, what attorney you have. And third, $2,500 for Chris Brown, who can literally do a concert and make $200,000-$300,000. That's a win. It's like, okay, here, let me just pay it for all year. There you go. Be gone. So I think it depends. Gucci Mane, she wasn't Haitian. I will tell you, the Haitian women I dated were on point. There was 2 I can think of. If I had got them pregnant, I wouldn't be going through this. I know I wouldn't. Who that guy? Does anyone here think that maybe women keep kids away from fathers as a way of getting back at him? Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it's about. Joshua Hill, Kiki White admitted having kids make her feel wanted and useful. That's the mental. No, that's the nature of woman. That's what we were put here to do. There ain't nothing wrong with that. She's just being honest about it. A lot of women do not feel complete until they've had a kid. I'm serious. This is real. So that's not really wrong of her. New Jeru girl. To all the men on this post, I'm a woman and I don't condone their behavior of these women. Totally unacceptable. I witnessed this with a former male coworker who broke down and had to console him. I mean, a lot of women are just vicious. Ultra bright mobile car wash. Worst thing you can do in your life is have kids. No, that's not true. Worst thing you can do is have kids with the wrong woman. That's the worst thing. It's not having kids. Kids are great. Kids make things better. Kids are fun. It's not that. James W. Professor GC, your baby mother was an undercover blessing, going through drama, help you start Hustlers Kung Fu. You can look at it that way, because this is one of my philosophies. When I'm going through something, I try to build something versus going inward and letting that eat me up. So it was great. How do you think I was putting out all those courses so quick? I had a lot of stuff on my mind. Sad, official, but true. Terry J. You might be good. Like if you seriously get the financial stuff, like any joint accounts, get them out of your name. Like start on that tonight, and then you file divorce first, and you file a petition, and you want half custody. You want your kid half. How old is your kid? And is it a male or a female? What's up, Wire? Coaching. Official. It's like I attract the women who don't have much going on. I'm going to tell you something about that. What you want to do to reverse that trend is to find something that you can pour your heart into. And as you become a different kind of cat, the women that you will be attracted to you will be different. Let's see. Jay Fleming, you think she's crazy enough to join your course and come to the meetups? Nope, too much money. And plus, I have a plan for that too. Roger Magma, no, you can't have the cake and eat it too. Wire coaching, once the heart gets involved, the peace goes out the window. Yes, it does. Pretty much, Archangel. The real estate hustler, what's up? Terry J. I'm more traditional. I don't need equal rights because of my special woman's right, but getting my own money and helping out. I mean, a lot of women think like that. And, you know, it's the Real Housewives of Atlanta lifestyle that has driven a lot of women crazy. Don't do anything, get paid a lot of money, and look good. It's just not feasible for most people. Let's see. Well, let's just say we have a plan in place for that. Wire coaching, think with the right head, and most of this can be avoided. Not exactly. I totally disagree with that. Once again, that's putting the responsibility on the man and like leaving the woman off the hook. Gucci Mane mixtape, more of the story, don't get caught out here like Tyrese. I don't know what Tyrese, if he did anything to prompt a divorce. I don't know. They weren't married that long. Logic reigns supreme. Prenups can be thrown out. So how can a man truly protect themselves? Let me just say it to you like this, because there's only 3 more hours. Join Hustle Camp, and I will teach you how to do that. Let's just say that if she came after me and I got served and we went to court, it would be mind blowing how much, because I don't own anything. I'm a manager. I put all of my assets and stuff in a trust in 2012, which is like a year and some before Madison was born. So they don't take money from one kid to give to another. And it's an irrevocable trust. So she can snoop and call and do whatever she wants. She ain't getting no money. Because see, one of the things that helped me was time. I tried, to get her, and she just didn't want to respond, because it's going to be lovely whenever we get back in court. I'm looking forward to it. She is 5. That's kind of touchy. Well, a girl gets her sexual identity from her father around age 3. So if you can hang out another 2 years and then get divorced, that might be more feasible. Because if she's a female child and the mother really wants her, she may get her. I don't know. It just depends. Love to keep fit. It's not about the children. You're correct. Children are awesome. In the end, the money's the root of all evil. Edward Wells. My dad got lucky with my mom. He got remarried and had 3 more kids. And she was like, she didn't need the money. She just wanted him to see and be in our lives. Like I said, there's a lot of reasonable women. That's why I'm like, there's so many reasonable women. Agent J Pool, the biggest thing is about 50% of custody is when guys don't follow through. That's the fastest way to have your child support increase. Truth.com. Because see, like when I put my course out, it was like you need to take care of the kid, because if you go ahead and get a parental contract and you breach the contract, you're going to get child support and you're going to get all this other stuff. I had a friend who went through that. She had a 50-50 deal. And for 2 years, dude did not give money. He didn't pick up Jalen. And then when she took him to court, he had his lip stuck out. I was like, no, he did that to himself. The real estate hustle, law of attraction. Who that guy? Love of money is. We need that money. Donovan Green, I'm here if you need a bodyguard. We need to be the message we bring. Some people have the wrong intentions going into a relationship. They wonder why people act out of character. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Tone Lee, I'm starting to think that no, there's a lot of people who get married and stay married. Love to keep it 500 prenup, 500 condom, $1 priceless. Yep, girl gets a sexual identity from her father when she is 3. If you want to keep her off the pole, fellas, be in her life until she's 7. Oh, Joshua, Vince Hubbard. I was wondering when that was going to happen because they never looked right to me. Ex-husband is also screwed. They had a domestic issue. However, he was her manager, like can do and marry. No, this is Roll Tide. This is Alabama, but I'm thinking about doing some because I got a T-shirt. I got a guy working on the T-shirt for Fat Cat Secrets, the parental stuff, and it's kind of like a caveman in a suit. So Primal Drive. My bad. P show. How do I go about bringing charges against the mattress? Because I went in for income reduction, and she didn't reduce it in 6 court appearances. Okay, P show biz. First of all, there's too much there for me to look at, but for income reduction, did you have a valid reason? Did you have pay stubs? So there's some other stuff, because what my magistrate did was render legal advice from the bench in what was supposed to be an impartial jury. Because I remember she was silent for like 60 seconds because she knew she stepped in it. And then she just kind of went on hoping that I wasn't as educated. And I was like, oh, I wrote down the impertinent conduct, rendering it, my 14-page complaint. And she is not there anymore. I don't know if mine got her fired, but I hope it did. I got a runaway Canadian girl. She has my child. I don't know when she was born. I never even spoke to her, and it's almost 7 years. Do I have a case? I don't know, man. Essentially, what you're saying is this woman got pregnant, left you, and you don't know where she is. That's a hard one, because this is what you can run up into. Like, say you find her, right? They're going to come after you for child support, and they're going to come after you for back child support. So before you find her, you need to speak to an attorney and get your ducks in a row, because you can get this kid, and I'm telling you, because I know of someone. Check this out. This trick pinned the kid on another man and found out. Then this guy went to jail, and then she's like, well, he wasn't the father anyway, and she did the DNA test, and this guy had to come up with 20 grand back child support. So be very careful there, my friend. Herbert Scott, don't get married, don't have kids, be a Shaolin monk. Oh, man. The real estate hustler. We as men need to know our rights and take care of our kids. When you can win custody in court, it took me 3 years for my son, but I won custody. Congratulations, because I know that was hell. Thanks. I'm getting my stuff together. Cool. Damn. Y'all are vicious. Well, I mean, if she's reasonable, it could go well. If she's not reasonable, um, so it just depends. But you see this thing with Tyrese in the news. Have compassion for the dude because he's going through some that is crazy. It really is. And like I said, there'll be more cool. There'll be more of these dating and tips for, there's going to be a lot more. So it's a playlist I've started. And then I'm going to do a middle class playlist and some other stuff. Next video is going to be Sunday. A new schedule is Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And live streams are going to be kind of rare, like once a week or once every 2 weeks, something like that. So thank you guys for joining me. If you folks want to be part of Hustle Camp, you got until 11:59 Pacific Standard Time to get in. And once the people who are in Hustle Camp, then the live experience component separates. So if you want that, be sure to get in. No. I got to make a phone call. So I will catch you guys later. Once again, subscribe, comment, give me your number, and you can win a free t-shirt.